race fans, I'm here with Black Flag Racing TV Monday evening, and that means it's time for GR4 Lottery. Hooray! Everyone cheers. Congratulations. So yes, we're here. It's Monday night, and we're on round 4 at Lago Maggiore East, not East End, just Lago Maggiore East. And it's the GR4 Lottery, as everyone knows. 15 cars, 15 drivers, everyone got a car allocated to them by the wheel of lottery. Some of them shit, some of them not so shit. Yeah, there was the brakes. You got the car you got. So we are, where are we? Lago Maggiore East. Let's have a little look at the track and some deets on the track. There we go, Lago Maggiore East. 2.26 miles, 11 corners. Little tricky section in there. If you dial this in there, you can get some really, really good times. And it's going to be a sub 20. Sub 1 minute 20 lap easily. So quick lap guide though. I don't often do a lap guide myself, but my time wasn't bad, so I'll whack that up for you all now. Here we go. I did see the 122, and I only did about 4 laps, which, if for those of you that have seen me drive, that's a pretty damn decent lap. So, I take turn 2 in second gear, turn 1 in second gear, turn 2 in first, just for rotation. See it, second gear here, you want to get the power nice and early, staying to this left-hand side, all the way down, as much power as you dare. I brake a little bit early here, to be fair, and turn in probably earlier than I should do. Should hang it out to the left a little bit longer and then turn it in for a much tighter apex to get on the power a little bit sooner. But it's easy enough to talk about it when you're actually doing this different. Here, just dropping down to 4th, staying off, then feather that throttle, then you're round, full power all the way through the gears. You don't need to lift off in these GR4, maybe a little lift there, a little lower, which I did, but you shouldn't have to. Round to the right hand side again. If you get that right, you shouldn't have to lift. But then you've got this last turn, really tricky. Again, apex a little bit too early there. Later apex there, and I think I probably could have got that lap down under 122. But there you go, that is a lap around Lago Maggiore East. That simple. Nothing really else to say about it. That's the lap. So here's what it looks like from the point of view of the cameraman. It does look pretty good, to be fair. Thank you very much, TJ. I'm sure they'll enjoy your good luck. Have you got a delivery time for your steering wheel yet, mate? So I'm quite impressed with that time, but maybe you're not. But I think qualified time is going to be sub 1 minute 20 for the faster guys. Some race pace would probably be around the 121.5, 122s. I think it depends on what tyres you're using. I think on the mediums, I think sub 122 is doable. But if you want to save some fuel, maybe you just drop it out to similar times to what I did here on my lap. But there we go, that's pretty much it. Nothing more really to see here. So just go straight to current standings. We're on round 4. Now you will notice something very significant, that where it used to say Nick and WRX, it now says Fubar. Phil has joined us and jumped straight into Nick's car. And because he jumped in Nick's car, he's taking Nick's points. So he comes into the round in 12th place with WRX. Obviously the race last one for WRX. So currently Kevin leads the charge, 215 points in that Porsche Cayman. Another 2 wins from last week in the 2nd place. Avalon's starting to look quicker after a disastrous week 1. And he's starting to move up through that order. He's sitting in 4th at the moment. But anyone's game really in that sort of 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th down to 6th. VR46 in the Genesis didn't have a great couple of weeks last 2 sessions. So I think he's going to be one of those that when I announce the new cars, he's going to be looking at that list and thinking, is it worth getting rid of that Genesis? TJ in 3rd, he's going to miss a couple of weeks, but he's playing his tokens. So he doesn't have to worry about not being able to race. He's got a couple of tokens to play, so which should basically save him losing some points for that. So he's going to be Avalon down in 4th in the Alpha. Aussie in the Huracan. Didn't have the best of races last week, but really strong race 1 and strong again last week. Which leaves him comfortably in 5th at the moment. Wiggy just behind in the Atenza. He hates that car, but he's getting some performance out of it on 126 points. Then we've got Craig, PM10. PM10 didn't race last week before on holiday. Yellow Sausages, poor week 1, but starting to show some of his old pace back. G-Mac in the BMW M4 also didn't race last week. Phil in the F-Type. Then we've got Grizz and the Fez. I don't think Grizz is racing this week. I think it's working. Jay is back with us this week. Welcome back for Monday night again. And Cool Runnings, I don't know if he's coming today. He didn't say he was, so let's assume that he is not. So that is all the runners this evening. So, what's occurring on the track? We are what? 4 minutes. 4 minutes from qualifying. It's one shot qualifying, 3 30-minute races. Any tyres, the BOP is off. These guys can tune their car up to 700 performance points. Do exactly what they like with them. No restriction on tyres, no restriction on anything else. Essentially, they can fiddle with the car as much as possible. Some to more effect than others. Again, soft tyres. Be a little bit abrasive on them, but I don't think anybody will run the hard tyres today. I don't know. It's quite a short lap, so I don't know. We'll see. I haven't seen anyone do any practice laps on the hard tyres yet, so let's assume, for argument's sake, that I'm right and nobody is going to run some hard tyres, because everybody seems to be running mediums. Now they can. We did clear this up earlier. It is one hot lap qualifying, so you do your hot lap and you park at turn 2. However, if once you've parked up, you want to jump in the pits and change your race tyre, you are quite welcome to do so. You just can't leave the pits again. So once you've done your 2 hot laps, so essentially you should be in 1 or 2 places. You should either be out lap, hot lap, parked up on turn 2 or in the pits. Once the qualifying starts, that'll be in about 2 minutes. But we've got the Stormfly in the Genesis. Now, so after these 3 races are done, I'm going to announce the list of 15 cars going back on the wheel. And if anybody is really that pissed off with their current car, they can take a look at that list and decide if they want to risk, after bidding their car, getting something from the wheel. Now, some of the cars on that wheel are much, much worse than any car currently in this competition. Some are better, but it's a gamble. Is anyone prepared to make that gamble? And bin the car, because basically they're going to get from after the race today until the beginning of the race next week to decide if they want to ditch their car. Once they've locked that in, their car at the end of race 5 will be binned. The wheel will be spinned. I won't say that because I won't. I do know how to speak, clearly. And then the new car will be theirs, whether that be the Suzuki Swift or not. And trust me, if you think your car's bad now, just driving that absolute bag of dog shit around the track, you will be 20 laps behind in a 3-lap race. It's that bad. Right, so room being prepared for the qualifying. It is 1 out lap, 1 hot lap, park the car, or go to the pits and change the tyres. Your choice. And then the race will start. We've got fastest first grid, followed by fastest first grid, followed by slowest first rolling start. So here we go. Everyone pretty much in the room. No one's actually ticked in yet, but we'll see. Let me tick in just in case there's any problemos. So, who have we got? Kevin 77, he's in the Porsche Cayman. Phil in the F-Type Jaguar. Old Man Jay in what I think is a phenomenally good AMG, but people in someone in the Lithuanian Championship ditched that yesterday, and I think Jay was talking about he might be ditching it for a re-roll. Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. Anyone that wonders why I'm calling it Not Diablo, just watch my video last week where I called it a Lamborghini Diablo. Stormfly in the Genesis. Wiggy in the Tenza, which I think common consensus is it's a good car, but Wiggy hates it. PM10, welcome back from your holiday, my friend. He is in the McLaren. Good car, that McLaren. And Avalon is out there somewhere. Where is he? There he is. Avalon in the best GR4 car in this game, without question, the Alpha 155. It's a thing of beauty. That is a sexy, sexy car. So, lap times. Who do we think is going to get the top lap? Well, Kevin's been practicing the Radical all day on comfort tyres or sports tyres. So, you're going to ditch the... So, you've got... So, TJ, hang on, let me get it straight. You've got a car that's putting you in the top 3 in a few races, and you're going to risk it for the Suzuki Swift. You are fucking insane, my friend. Plus, so you could end up with just those shitty cars on, and once you give your car up, you're not having it back. So I'd wait and see. If you really want to, if you really want to roll the dice, it's up to you, mate. If you really want to roll the dice. But if I were in your position and considering another car, I would see who's ditching their car first, because you might find 6 or 7 good cars gone from that list before you even get to roll. So Kevin is the first one out. He's going to set the first fast lap here at Lago Maggiore East, and it's going to be a sub 120 lap easily for me. Full on the power through here. No, oh look, a little lift there. Now I didn't lift there. Why is he lifting there? Maybe it's giving him a better speed out. What am I to question Kevin's driving? He's not the fastest clever. Yeah, good skills. Do it in the Swift then, mate. Do it in the Swift. That's a good final corner. Using loads of the road to get out of there. What has he got for us? What is the lap time? Is it on pole? It's a 1:19.8. Good lap time now. As we see Phil rounding the corner, he's going to set his lap. That's a 1:24.1. Old Man Jay with a 1:22.7. That is a phenomenal time, Jay. Phenomenal time. Remember, my lap guard was a 22.9. 21.4 for Aussie Rooster. Puts himself second. Stormfly, a 21.6. And he was third very briefly into Avalon. Puts in a 21.5 in the Alpha 155. And then PJ Secker, welcome, PJ, to the group. This is his first race with us. 1:20.9. Really good lap to put himself on the front row alongside Kevin. There is a new kid on the block. We'll looking forward to this then, seeing how everyone's going to fare. Now, some people actually set their qualifying laps on mediums, which I'll tell you what, that's not bloody bad time. If you're doing those times on a medium, I'll be watching out for these fellas come race time. But it looks like everybody's set a lap. Stormfly opted for those hard tyres. I said no one would use the hards, but Stormfly is sausages on the medium tyres. So those two jumped into the pits ready for exercise. So 10 runners today. It's not bad for a 15 runner competition. And obviously Grizz can only do 1 in 2, and Jay misses a few. But where's G-Mac, man? Does he hate the BMW that much that he's hiding from us? Clearly. So we are ready to go, I think. That's everyone set their hot lap. Let's get this thing started. 30 minutes. Balls out racing. Who has got the big kahunas? Beer open. So here we go. Full start check on. So hopefully everyone keeps it on the road, as I say, the north. PM10 Racing will be streaming from his own car viewpoint, and he actually made second on the grid. Good lap from Paul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are away. And how well are we away? Let's go down the grid so I can see if anyone crashes into turn 1. before I jump out and jump back in as I need to. So everyone through clean. Kevin just ahead of PM10. PM10 with that inside line though. PM10 fighting with that McLaren to get it up into the lead. Losing the back end a little bit. This is all very tight. I need to get back in this room quick. Here we go. So there is a battle out in front at the moment. PM10 looks like he is back up to racing speed after his holiday. Currently challenging Kevin for the lead of this race. PJ Secker moves down the order a little bit, down into 5th place. Did he give us a little bit too much respect going in there? Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. Currently in 3rd. PJ up into 4th place because round the Alpha 155. But Avalon not giving it up. Stormfly getting involved in that battle as well. Looking very, very racy. Everybody out of the blocks. There is Stormfly in the Genesis. He's got Yellow Sausages just behind him. And Old Man Jay in 8th place at the moment. Where is Wiggy? Wiggy's had an absolute nightmare start and finds himself way down in 10th place. Did he qualify that far back? I don't remember seeing him higher up on the grid. So Wiggy does gain a place up into 10th. But it doesn't last very long. Phil gets that jag turned in and off up the road he goes. Well, he did briefly. But didn't keep it on the road. So Phil out the back of the pack at the moment, but out in front. Kevin 77 is just over half a second clear of PM10 Racing at the moment. Is he going to be able to hold off the charge of that McLaren? Kevin's gone for the soft tyres. PM10 also on those softs in that McLaren. Aussie Rooster up into 3rd, looking okay in 3rd, but he has got Fubar all over the back of him. PJ Secker being the new boy, and he's got no intention of not setting out his stall and showing some pace here. He's picked up the WRX from Nick and he's showing him what that WRX really is capable of here at Lago Maggiore East. But at the moment, Aussie's holding him off in the Not Diablo. PJ Secker there in 4th place. Avalon in the Alpha 155. He started on the medium tyres. He's going to run a little bit longer than the rest of these guys, and we know how well he can drag those stints out and give himself a real good opportunity at a podium every time by doing that. Old Man Jay up to 6th place in the AMG. I tell you what, he's getting that car singing today. He's ahead of Stormfly, and it is not often you will see Old Man Jay ahead of Stormfly. This boy's starting to show some great pace. So no more back marker battles for him. He's a midfield runner. Stormfly drops down into 7th, but he is running those hard tyres, so he's not going to get huge pace out of them. But just to put into perspective, just how quick Stormfly is. My example that round, it was a 22.9, and I was well impressed with that. That was on soft tyres. Oh, Jay just touching the good fan. Everybody kissing the grass there. So Stormfly does a 33, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was on that 3 he did. But he did well. 123, sorry, 123.0 he did. Which is a phenomenal lap on hard tyres. So Yellow Sausages in 8th place. He's also on the medium tyres. Really needs to get around Stormfly. And as I say that, that's exactly what he does. Stormfly looking to come back at him. He does come back at him. The old switcheroo. Always seems to happen on that turn. When you go up the inside, the other car will go around you and nick the inside on the next turn. So Stormfly back up into 7th. Wiggy in 9th place, and Phil having an absolute mare 10 seconds back in the F-type. And I can tell you what he's thinking F stands for right now. Out in front, Kevin 77 not pulling away. He's on those soft compound tyres. Now, probably going to take them to about lap 7 or 8. Possibly, I think the plan should be is, can you get these tyres to the 10-minute mark? If you can, you might be able to one-stop this race. If you can't, then it's a two-stopper all the way. PM10, a little bit more out of his tyres, a little bit more pressure, just trying to keep up with Kevin at this stage. Aussie Rooster in 3rd in the Not Diablo. He's being dropped by the 2 front runners, but not able to... I was going to say not able to drop PJ Secker. Where is PJ Secker? He has dropped down to 7th place, so not had a good luck there. Avalon Shallow promotes up into 4th in the Alpha 155. He's tacking on the back of Aussie Rooster. He's on those medium tyres. In fact, they're both running those medium tyres. And Stormfly now up into 5th, 3.1 seconds behind. Under pressure from Old Man Jay right now. Really putting some pressure on in that AMG. And that's good to see. PJ Secker just behind him. He's a 3/10 back. And looking at that lap time, he had a poor lap 3, which has clearly cost him some places there. Currently fastest man on track is PM10 though, 1:20.4, and PJ Second picks up a penalty, cuts that corner. That's what's going to cost him time, picking up these penalties. Yellow Sausage is most likely going to get an opportunity to get round him, and I've got to say he's done a good job of getting liveries and stuff on that car, to be fair. Nice one there, buddy. So off the racing line, serves his penalty. Yellow Sausage is through. Wiggy dives into the pits really early. Lap 4, and those soft tyres on that Tenza absolutely carved to smithereens. So softs are not the way to go for this Tenza. So Phil will promote up into 9th on the medium tyres in the fuck type, which I think he's calling it right now. Wiggy in the pits. Very, very early to pitting. What can you say? I mean, awful. Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. Sylvia's a pretty good car, and I'll tell you what is a good car as well around there. It's the GR Supra, the one I did in my video, because you got to bear in mind how slow I am, and I pulled out a 22.9 after doing just 4 laps around here in that car, and I reckon I probably could have got it sub 22. So I think that Supra would have been awesome around there. But yeah, I love Lago Maggiore, and I never got to race it either. Last time I did was in the Danish, in the 911. So Kevin's still in the lead, but he's not used to this. Usually Kevin starts to pull away on the soft tyres, but he's got PM10's been practicing, and he is tucked right up behind Kevin, less than half a second, looking for any opportunity to get past him. Kevin he's not going to make a mistake easily though, so I think it's going to be about tyre wear here, and I think it looks to me that PM10's just taking a bit more out of his tyres, a bit more out of his fuel. Kevin a bit better at managing that. Aussie Rooster, he is 4.6 seconds back from that battle, but he's on the medium tyres, so when the front two go into pit, he will take the lead of this race. Stormfly starting to dial in that Genesis, gets himself past Avalon Shadow. He's on the hard tyres as well, so that is a really, really good move for him. He is absolutely sailing. PM10's done a really good job. You can always tell when he's been practicing because he's always around the front 2 or 3. So Stormfly has got himself up into 4th place. They're 6 seconds back from Aussie at the minute, and Avalon is tucked right under the rear wing of that Genesis G70, the Jägermeister Genesis. Less than 0.3 of a second, and the dirty air behind there not affecting the Alpha at all, because the Alpha is a sexy car. And who gets the better exit there? They are almost side by side as they come into this big right-hander at the bottom of the hill to complete the lap. And Avalon does take back 4th place, but Stormfly has the inside line. They are going to go side by side. Well, they're not, because Avalon just tucks in. And as PM10 and Kevin go into the pits, Aussie up into the lead. Avalon into 2nd place. Stormfly back down to 3rd. Then we've got Yellow Sausages. He's in 4th place at the moment, and the battle ahead is 3 seconds ahead of him. That battle still rages on. Kevin comes out of the pits on the medium tyres in 5th place. PM10 though out much later. Not much fuel on board for Kevin. That promotes Phil up into the dizzy heights of 6th place now, ahead of PM10. So PM10's got some work to do, and Phil is taking those tyres to their limit. This is lap 7. We haven't reached the 10-minute mark yet, so it's going to be a 2-stopper, whichever way you look at it. So PM10 out of the pits in 7th place. He is tucked under the rear wing of Phil. Should be looking to try and make a move on those medium tyres. Old Man Jay has been in the pits. He's back out in 8th. PJ Second with a 3-second penalty. Buddy, you are loving those penalties, my friend. Loving those penalties. So, we got another fast guy join us, but he loved it. So essentially we had G-Mac joined us, really fast, spends half the race in the pits. PJ's joined us, really fast, spends half of his race serving penalties. If that's your thing, man, that's your thing. But he's looking pretty damn racy. So Old Man Jay up into 8th place, looking good. Buoyed by his performance yesterday in the Alpha 155. And that race will be streamed for your viewing pleasure at some stage tomorrow afternoon. It may be shooting my recording, depends when I get around to doing it. So, Yellow Sausage to fill it into the pits. There's PJ serving that penalty. 10 seconds clear of Wiggy, though. I apologise for that burp. I just put that down the mic. It came from nowhere. Wiggy really struggling with that tensor. He's on the hard tyres. He's going to run long. Does get past Phil, though. So it's not all doom and gloom for Wiggy. But to be fair, I mean, he's putting in a 1:21.4 on lap 2. So there is some pace in that car. He just can't seem to drag it out. And he did have a really bad lap 4 with a 1:51.1. So at the moment, Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo in the lead of this race. 6.8 seconds is that lead. Stormfly VR46 in the Genesis has got himself ahead as we see Aussie pulling into the pits now. Is Stormfly going to pull in? He's on those hard tyres. He can certainly go a little bit longer if he wants to. So Avalon pulls in. Stormfly into the lead in the G70. And he's 1.9 clear, 9 seconds clear now of Kevin, the actual race leader. Kevin pitted end of lap 7. Run a couple of laps now on those mediums. Now, how far can Stormfly take these hard tyres? If he can take these, I've got to be honest, if he can take this to lap 15 and do this in a one stopper, wow. With this kind of pace as well, you've got to be impressed with that, because I think fuel-wise he's going to struggle to take it to that distance. He has burnt a lot of fuel, so maybe it's going to be a hard, medium, soft run for Stormfly. But Kevin went for the softs early doors. He's now on those medium tyres. Didn't put a lot of fuel in when he went in. PM10 put a bit more on. That gap is opened up to 10 seconds. So the pace really starting to ramp up out front for Kevin 77. He's closing the gap on Stormfly, but I don't know if he's going to catch him before Stormfly pits. There he is. There is PM10 racing in the McLaren. Fanatec McLaren. 10.1 seconds behind Kevin. 5 seconds clear at the moment of Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. The Roostery Non Diablo. And he's gone for those medium tyres again for his second run. As Stormfly pulls into the pits, Kevin regains the lead of this race. Yellow Sausage is up to 5th in the very cool looking, look at that cool looking Lancer. The Bumblebee Lancer, I'm going to call that. That was, who was that that spun? Avalon Shadow, massive spin. What happened there? Big 3-second penalty to serve. And he just lost the Alpha there. I don't know how he lost that. He must have, when you come through that really quick section, he must have just overcooked it, hit the wall and just kept his foot in. So big spin for Avalon. That will put him down the order. Or it doesn't actually. He's down to 8th place. He has put down the order a little bit. So that's allowed Old Man James, who's up into 5th place. He's got himself around Yellow Sausages. Really good performance from Jay, that AMG. I've got to say, I'm very impressed so far. I'm wondering if he's been just doing lap after lap after lap in this today. But I say he's around Yellow Sausages. He's not. Yellow Sausages in the Lancer. He's around PJ, who is tucked in behind him, trying to make a move. He pulls out of the slipstream as they come down to make this big right-hand turn on that sort of, it's that kind of adverse camber. However, the camber does help you around the corner a little bit, but you've got to get your brake point right against early and right there. It's a really difficult corner to get right, because you need the momentum, because beyond that, it is, big backslide, big slide. He nearly lost the back end, holds it very well. PJ tucked in behind, won't be able to overtake yet, but there might be an overtaking opportunity into the last corner here at the bottom of the hill. And PJ pulls out, looking for going up the inside. They are side by side going in. PJ much tighter apex, but the wider line gives you a bit of a faster exit. PJ does make that move stick as they come to complete lap 10. Good overtake from PJ, nice and clean from the pair of them. Jay's holding this inside line though, up into turn 1, tries to make the move up the inside. PJ holds the inside line for turn 2. Jay just has to back out. Stormfly down in 7th place. Got to for those hard tyres again. So is he going to, I'll tell you what, this is what I predict. I predict Stormfly is going to go hard, soft. Which is kind of the story of my second life, to be fair. Although it's more soft now. So Stormfly in 7th place. He's just behind Old Man J, about second behind Old Man J, who's still in a really good battle with PJ Secker. And did they come together there? Was there a little coming together between Old Man J and PJ Secker, which has just allowed Stormfly to sail through? PJ, well, what is going on here? So Old Man J through, Avalon through. Did PJ, well, I don't know whether PJ caught J and let him through or whether he just lost control of the car, but all change again. And now we've got Avalon Shadow and Old Man J in a battle. Old Man J back up to 6th place. Avalon Shadow looking up the inside here into the final corner. Again, J wide in that AMG. Avalon Shadow just nicely tucks that round and up towards the start-finish line in the Alpha. So we've had a few little wobbles on the track so far. Wiggy with a 1.5 second penalty. And he's got Phil 2.3 seconds behind him. These two well off the pace today, which is a big, big surprise to be fair. Wiggy slows right down. What's going on there with Wiggy? Is there some sort of issue with the car? We don't normally have breakdowns, but it looks like Phil got a really, really good exit on those mediums, and it's pulling away, or trying to pull away from Wiggy. But out in front, the gap is 9.2 seconds. PM10 with a lot of work to do. But one thing PM10 has got that Kevin hasn't is double the amount of fuel. So Kevin's going to have to pit for fuel before his tyres give out. Is that strategy going to be one that comes back to haunt him towards the end of this race? Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo, 7.8 seconds back. He's been quick today, Aussie, but just not as quick as these two out front. Just not been able to match the pace of Kevin and PM10 today. Yeah, the sausages though, I tell you what, that colour is making him faster. And if you want a livery that looks like that, don't ask me, I'm far too busy. But he is currently running 4th, quite comfortably 4th as well. 8 seconds back from Aussie, not really challenging him there, but 12.1 seconds ahead of Stormfly in the G70. And Stormfly just not able to get the rhythm in that car because he's constantly finding himself defending from somebody. And at the moment, that's Avalon Shadow in the beautiful Alpha 155, trying to find a way around Stormfly in that car. And he's gone for his standard red. He doesn't like to change cars much. He likes it red, he likes it black, he likes it just so. And he is closing at the moment on Stormfly and looking for a way through. Stormfly on the hard tyres, Avalon Shadow on the mediums. He needs to get the Alpha past on those medium tyres to stand a chance of getting anything out of this race. And bear in mind, there is 3 races, so anything can happen in the 3 races, and every single one counts. PJ Secker, he's got past Old Man J again, up into 7th place, but a good battle between these two. PM10 still with the fastest lap, a 1:20.1. PJ running those hard tyres. Old Man J on the mediums. Old Man J's going to have to pit at the end of this lap 13. Just loses control of the AMG there. Cutting the grass, has to let off the power. Big slide going into the final turn, but there's just no grip left in that front left. He will pull off the left-hand side into the pits. That will see Phil coming through to take 8th place, and Wiggy closely behind him. Wiggy having an absolute nightmare in the hard tyres on that Atenza. Absolute nightmare. So Old Man J in the pits for his second stop. There is Kevin, way out in front at 9.7 seconds. So ignore everything I said in the first stint. PM10 really isn't keeping up with him. But he will be pitting lap 15. Question is, what tyres is he pitting for? He ran the softs in the first stint, didn't quite make it to full 10 minutes. He's run the mediums now. We run the mediums for a second stint as he just comes up behind Old Man J, who's just coming out of the pits. But Kevin himself's going to have to pit end of lap 16, I think. And then I'm assuming he will go straight back onto the soft tyres. I think that would be a relatively reasonable guess. We'll soon see though. We'll find out when we go to the pits, won't we? PM10 Racing in second. Not really closing that gap on Kevin at the moment, but doing really well in that McLaren. Keeping his car 8 seconds clear of Aussie Rooster in 3rd position in that Not Diablo. The Not Diablo, also known as the Huracan. As Yellow Sausages and PJ Secker both into the pits for their 2nd stop. Avalon up to 4th place. He has passed Stormfly, starting to pull away now in the Alpha. He's got a lot of tyre and not a lot of fuel, but a lot of tyre to play with. Stormfly will stay out a bit longer. When Avalon pops in to get some fuel on board, he'll see Stormfly go flying past, but how long will it last? Big squeal for the tyres of the Alpha. So Kevin goes in. He goes in actually earlier than I thought he would. Lap earlier. I reckon Kevin listens to this, right? And whenever I suggest what lap he's going in, he goes, fuck it, I'm going to do a different one just to make him look rubbish. That's what I think. I think he does it on purpose. So PM10 promoted into the lead. He could probably go one more. I don't know if those tyres are going to give him 2 laps. He's got the fuel to do it, but I don't think that front left is going to hold on that McLaren to let him stay out longer. So I think we'll see him come in at the end of lap 16. Now, will he run those soft tyres to the end? Remember, it's a 30-minute race. As Avalon into the pits for his 2nd stop. He's got in, it's a fuel stop more than a tyre stop. But he'll put on, I think, maybe the medium. Or again, can he get the soft to run that distance? That's the question. Stormfly. Is he trying to make this to the end of the race? I don't think he can. I really don't think he can. It's got to be hard, soft, surely for Stormfly. Yellow Sausages in 5th. Wiggy now up to 6th place. Everyone pits. So, but then saying that, he's got to pit at the end of this lap, but that will be his 2nd and final pit stop. Avalon Shadow out in 7th place on the medium tyres. He's going to run those medium tyres to the end in that Alpha. As we see Phil in the pits, drops back to last place again. Old man Jay, he's done his final stop. He's out on track, tucked in behind PJ Secker. This battle rages on. PJ Secker on the hard tyres, running the hards to the end here. Old man Jay on the mediums. Can Jay capitalise on those faster tyres, get them warmed up, and get past that WRX while he still has a chance? PM10 into the pits from the lead of the race, and Aussie in from 2nd. They are already down the order as Kevin glides through in the Porsche Cayman to retake the lead of this race. So good strategy of him. He's come with the mediums, which I think is probably the more sensible choice. I mean, the softs would have been okay, but too much. When you've got a guy behind you as quick as that, you want to kind of make sure. And there is PM10. He's come out. He's on the soft. He is going for it. PM10 Racing is going on a charge. Now remember, he's already set the fastest lap. He's got an 8.4 second deficit to make up. Now we're on lap 17. We're 23 minutes in. A minute 20 a lap. We're only looking at a handful of laps. If that's 4, maybe 5 laps at a push. No way 5 laps. What am I talking about? 4 laps. He's got 4 laps to take 2 seconds a lap out of Kevin. That's what he's got to do. That's the job. He's going to do the math. He knows what he's got to do. He's on it. Stormfly. The closer we get to the end of this race, the more I think he's going to try and take this to the end. I can't work out his strategy. Every time it's a different strategy, but he could take those tyres to the end. I think it's a bit touch and go on fuel though. Maybe not. What do I know? Not just a commentator. Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. He's on the medium tyres. He's got a 7-second gap to make up on Stormfly for a chance in the top 3 if Stormfly doesn't pit. Yellow Sausages with a 1 second penalty. Currently running slap bang midfield. 12 seconds off the back of that top 4. But at the moment, running on the medium tyres, he's got Avalon behind him also running the mediums. A lot of work for Avalon to do to get himself in the top 5. Again, 7.5 seconds. Then we've got this battle here, which isn't really a battle anymore. 15 seconds back, PJ Secker in 7th in the WRX. He's got Jay. They were really close together, and Jay was putting some pressure on. PJ Secker on the hard tyres, though. Jay running those mediums. Can Jay get those up to speed and close that gap? Wiggy currently 9th. He's on the medium tyres with Phil behind him, also running mediums. A little bit more fuel on for Phil, less concerned about conserving in the corners. Can he close that 2-second gap? So let's have a little look. How are we doing here? Kevin on lap 18. The gap is down to 7 seconds. We are 5 minutes from the end of this race. So by my reckoning, that gives us 1, 2, 3. That gives us 4 laps from this point for these front two. The gap is 6.9 seconds. So Kevin starts lap 19. Here we go. PM10 starts lap 19. The gap at the end of lap 19 was 6.7 seconds. Stormfly has closed the gap to 8.8 seconds. But I just don't think, with looking after fuel and tyres that he is now to the end of this race, he's going to have the pace to close on PM10. Certainly not for me, he isn't. Aussie Rooster is closing the gap down. It's 4.4 seconds. Last lap was a 1:21.2. Very, very quick pace compared to a 1:22.9 for Stormfly. So he is taking a few chunks out of him. Yellow Sausage is 17 seconds back. Comfortably 5th at the moment. Will need to look at his mirrors though. Last lap a 1:24.5. Avalon with a 1:21.4. That is a phenomenally quick lap. So he is closing down that gap, eyeing himself a place in that top 5. PJ Secker 15 seconds back, but now starting to lap in those low to mid 1:21s. So can he make a little inroads into Avalon? I don't think with current pace ahead of him that's going to happen. But Jay not able to match that pace in the AMG and just sitting there. He's comfortably at 8th, so I don't think he needs to worry. He's under no danger from a Tenza behind. No, certainly not in terms of lap times. I think we're close enough to the end of the race for Wiggy not to be able to catch him. And Phil just dropping off in that F-type Jag. So, lap 20, the gap is 6 seconds. It's not closing fast enough for PM10 to have a chance of an overtake, I don't think. I really don't think he's going to be able to close the gap enough. We've 27 minutes. We've got just over 3 minutes left. So depending on when they cross the line, 2 laps after this, was whether we get a third lap and a third crack at a whip. I think Kevin, seeing that the time is coming down as quick as that, would prefer it if 2 laps was the end of this race. He doesn't really want to be under that kind of pressure with a guy behind on soft tyres while he's on mediums. But the gap, just not huge. And let's face it, we know that Kevin can pace manage very, very well. We'll see if that gap opens. We'll see if the gap gets below 5 seconds and he starts to open it up. We know that he's been pace managing. Which can be frustrating because it's good for us to see actual racing. So Stormfly has got himself into the top 3. Hunted down Aussie Rooster. Got himself into the top 3. But he's going to have a squeaky bum couple of laps on fuel and tyres. In fact, I don't even think he's going to make it. So Aussie back through. Aussie takes 3rd. Stormfly is fuel map 6ing and trying to hang on to the end of this race. Is he gambling on Yellow Sausages not getting another lap or something? Is he frantically doing some maths in his head and working out, well, can he maintain 4th place? Because there's no way, if he makes it to the end of this lap, that is, looking at the fuel, there's no way he's making it round another lap. There is Yellow Sausage, 20 seconds behind. Now, the key is going to be if he can get close enough. Avalon's closed that gap to under 2 seconds. They are on their final lap of the race. I'm not sure if they're going to make the line in time. They might do, actually. They might just make the line in time. It's going to be touch and go. But they might be on their final lap of the race. But Phil just being lapped now by Kevin. So here we go. So Kevin is 4.8 seconds, 4.7 seconds is the gap. Closing every single corner. PM10 really putting the hammer down. We're on lap 22. This will be the final lap of the race here at Lago Maggiore East. Fastest lap of the race still. PM10 with a 1:20.002. Kevin desperately trying to get around Phil and get out of the way. But he's got fuel to save. He's got to make sure he makes it to the end of the lap. Here's PM10 on the charge. 4.3 seconds is the gap. I think the gap is just going to be too big. I think the ask was too much. It was a big ask when he came out of the pits that far behind. But he's absolutely on the money with pace. That 120.002. Is there a sub 119 in the race here? So, Stormfly finishes 4th. The fuel was just enough. Yellow is 5th. Avalon Shadow in 6th. They did not make another lap. PJ Secker, here he comes home in 7th place. Eventually 10 seconds clear of Old Man J. But Old Man J ahead of Wiggy, ahead of Phil. That is a good race for the guys from #back marker battles. And there he goes, he's through in 8th. Wiggy comes through in 9th, but Phil, I thought that was Phil behind him there. So here we go, Wiggy through in 9th place, Phil in 10th, and there is Kevin crossing the line for the win. PM10 just behind Phil comes home in 2nd, and Aussie Rooster in the not Diablo Huracan will come home in 3rd place, 20 seconds down the road. Race time 31 minutes 5 seconds, 22 laps. So the one stopper can work. Stormfly got his car to 4th on a one stopper. Good performance there from the top 3. PM10 in 2nd, couldn't catch Kevin. Great job from Kevin, but really good performance to the top 3. A really, really good performance. So there we go. That's race number 1 done and dusted. We've still got 2 more qualifier sessions. We've still got 2 more races to go. Do not go anywhere. This will be, and Stoggle, why is Stoggle leaving the room? I'm assuming he's leaving to come home. Maybe he's having an issue with the wheel, and that's why he's coming back into the room in a bit. So, where are we at? That's the question. Where are we at? So, 55 is the next hot lap. Gives us a few minutes for everything to go on. We'll stay in the room. I will be with you very, very shortly. I'm back in the room. Welcome back, everybody. If anyone's there, of course. I didn't actually check the chat for a while. There's a few of you out there. So, what have we missed? Not a great deal by the looks of things. Nobody out on track? Oh, there is a few out on track, just PM10 just trying to find those extra few tenths. Can he do anything? Has PM10 got anything in the tank to challenge Kevin for this? Kevin at the moment looking very dominant in that Cayman. Lucked out a little bit, to be fair. He came into the competition quite late. He wasn't involved in the initial rolls, but it was the Cayman was left on the wheel when he decided to join us, and that was the one that rolled for him. Very, very lucky. Phil, at the end of this race, I will be announcing the 15 cars going into the mid-season re-roll. The check-in for the re-roll will be up on Discord for a week. Just check in, and then at the end of race 5, you can put your car in a bin and re-roll for some new cars. They will all be announced after this stream. There will be an extensive list of all the cars available. Bear in mind though, Phil, I know you're struggling in that Jag, but you could end up with a Suzuki Swift, which is on the wheel. But saying that, you are a little bit further down the pecking, or a bit further down the list, so you might actually get one of the early rolls. There's some bloody good cars in there as well, there, Phil, to be honest. So we'll see. We will see. What is that photographer doing? Why are you down there, mate? Well, he's there's the Ferrari strategist doing nothing as usual. So Stormfly trying to find those extra few tenths as well. Yeah, I'll put the. All you've got to do is when I put the check-in up for it, just tick the box and just to agree to bin your Jaguar, and we will set the car on fire for you, so no one has to drive it again. But it just goes to show, you've got all these different cars in the same class, but there's such a difference between them. I mean, if we put it on Bob, it'd probably be even worse. Bit of a strange one that actually you would expect, when you're doing a GR4 race or GR3 race or whatever, that the cars with BOP on would have some kind of affinity, but it just appears they don't have any affinity at all. And even when you allow a bit of tuning on the car to try and regulate those differences, it's not there. Now that to me says that PD maybe need to look at the way these cars are classed and change the way that they're pitted against each other. I can see you. I'm assuming they can as well. He's not listening, is he? But yes, we can see you. So room is reset. I'm not going to look at that. Chat, that's what I wanted. Let's send him that message. There we go. Lovely professional broadcast ability from me. It's something I'm working on a minute. I think I've got the commentary bit down. It's the broadcast side of things that's a little bit lacking skills. But you're still sticking with me, so that's the main thing. So, old man Jay trying to get a bit more out of that AMG. He had a really good start to the race, to be fair. Really good start. He was running comfortably in midfield, but just couldn't couldn't capitalise on that. So to the race 2, we know Kevin's going to be quick. Can PM10 close that gap or even nick a point or two? What about PJ Secker? He was very quick in qualifying and looked quick in the early part of the race, but didn't transfer that onto different compounds of tyres as the race wore on. I think it's because that we know that WRX is a little bit rubbish in terms of looking after the tyres. So that's something that needs to be addressed as well, maybe. Yeah, it might be that he does a couple of runs on this WRX and thinks, you know what, I'm gonna take my risk for a new car. I think we can be certain that Wiggy is going to ditch this Tenzo. He didn't have a really good race last time out. He's been really struggling getting this car to perform the way he wants. I think we'll see him sticking his name in the hat for a new car. We already know Phil is definitely ditching his car. I think we'll find GMAC one as well. I'm wondering if the reason we're not seeing GMAC is just because he hates that BMW quite so much. Aussie Rooster, tell you what though, he's really doing well with that Huracan. I can't see him getting rid of that. He's loving that car. That Not Diablo is performing very sweetly for him. Avalon initially wasn't happy with that Alpha 155 at Brands Hatch, but starting to get this car the way he likes it, getting it dialed in and just doing the job he wants. And anyone that drives this car will fall in love with it. It's a beautiful bloody car. Although I've said this is my favourite GR4 car, but I am starting to really enjoy the both the GR4 and the GR3 Supras. I think they're very good cars as well. So one hot lap qualifying is underway. Everyone on their out lap pretty much. Old Man Jay first one out though. He's running his hot lap right now. What's he got in the tank? Can he put it on pole? Imagine that. Old Man Jay on pole. Well, he will be now as he crosses the line very briefly on pole. What have we got as fastest lap so far? 1:19. So there we go. There's the sub 120. 1:19.8. Can we get that as race pace? Wouldn't that be something? Old Man Jay with a 1:21.8. Again, solid. That's faster than me, so I can't say shit. PJ Secker, 1:20.3. So he's got the qualifying pace. Can he transfer that into race pace? That's the thing. It's all well and good chucking out good qualifying times, but you've got to get the consistency and you've got to get that kind of pace into a racing scenario. But look how much tyre comes out of that car, that WRX, just on one hot lap. Stormfly gets his lap done. Wiggy currently sitting third with a 21.5. So that Tenza's got some one lap pace as well. Aussie Rooster, we know he's got that Huracan dialed in. He's always there or thereabouts. Every race he's knocking on the door of that top three in the Not Diablo. 1:21.447 for Aussie. It's Old Man Jay down in sixth. Phil, 1:23.6. He absolutely hates that Jaguar. I'm surprised he isn't getting out and kicking the car. But to be fair, I don't know what happened between GTS and GT7, but that Jaguar was a go-to car for GTS. But just a big bag of dog shit here. Stormfly, he's set a time. He's 0.3 off the lead. But PM10 puts in the fastest lap again with a 1:19.7. Now, that's twice that he's put himself on the front row in that McLaren. He's got the edge this time over Kevin. He's got first place. So here we go. We are here for race number 2. Full start check in place. Who's at the back of the grid? Phil at the back. Yellow Sausage just in front of him. Not a good lap from him. Avalon in 5th. So it is PM10 from Kevin from Stormfly, from PJ Secker, Avalon, Rooster, Wiggy, Old Man Jay, Yellow Sausages, and Phil at the rear in the Jaguar. So here we go. This is on board with Phil. He gets away relatively well, but the car's in front. Yellow Sausages with a great launch. PM10 in the lead into turn 1. And I hate having to do this every time we start a race. But PM10 in the lead. Kevin muscling his way past Stormfly, getting those elbows out into turn 2. Doesn't want to risk losing any track position to PM10 as he fucks off in that McLaren. Stormfly back into second place, made his way back around in that Genesis. Now, is Stormfly running those hard tyres early doors? No, but he's going for softs this time out. So PM10 on the softs, looking to build a lead. 1.4 is that lead already, and it's opening up. He really is going pedal down this time. Stormfly in second, also running those soft tyres. Kevin is side by side with PJ Secker and Aussie Rooster. They're going 1, 2, 3 abreast. They have to go single file. You cannot go side by side through that turn, but anybody's place at the minute. So Kevin, his early race pace hasn't been great. It's the second half that he really comes into his own in that car, and that's a penalty for Avalon. 1.5 seconds. He's lose a lot of places there. Get a penalty on lap 1. Kevin in 3rd place. Avalon going to serve this penalty. So PJ Secker is through in 4th. Avalon serves the penalty. Avalon loses out a lot of places. Aussie through. Yellow Sausages through in 6th. Old Man Jay in 7th place, just right under the wing of Yellow Sausages. Possibly a move into turn 1. Wiggy up to 8th place. He's got Avalon tucked in behind him now. On those Wiggy's on the soft tyres, Avalon on the medium tyres, Phil on the medium tyres as well. But PM10, 1.4 seconds is still the lead. Stormfly chasing off up the road after him in that G70. Has he finally found the measure of that car? Because we know you put Stormfly in a car of his choice, and him and Kevin are disappearing off up the road, merrily battling each other for the win. But this is why I love the GR4 lotteries. It's kind of thrown up some interesting battles. It's people that you would normally expect to be challenging for a top 3, milling around the midfield, sometimes towards the back of the pack as well. It really does change things up, much like Sunday Handicap, actually, to be fair, which I will talk about in a little while. Kevin 77, he is currently running in 3rd place. He's got PJ Secker hanging with him this time. Last time out, he had PM10 hanging on the back. This time, it's PJ Secker. Doing really good showing for his first race with us, to be fair, and showing that he has got some pace. It's whether he can manage that pace throughout the race. And the guys around him will certainly push him to do that. Ozzy currently running in 5th in the Not Diablo. He's gone for those medium tyres. So of the front runners, we've got soft for the top 4. Ozzy is the highest placed medium tyre runner. 2.3 off that top 4 now. Hanging quite well with them considering the difference in pace between the 2 tyres. And there's a sub 120 lap for the race. 119.7. I knew it was coming, and there it is. And that's in the G70 as well. Who would have thunk it? Yellow Sausages up to 6th place. He's got around Old Man J. 1.5 seconds off the back of Ozzy, also running medium tyres. Old Man J's on the softs in the AMG. Now we know that AMG really is quite harsh on those tyres, and he will pit relatively early. Wiggy also running the softs for the Atenza. He will probably pit. We pit lap 4 last time out. Wonder if he can take it to lap 5 this time. Just an extra lap might help. Phil in the Jaguar is 5 seconds clear of Avalon, who's really not having a good day. Now, did he have another accident? Well, it certainly looks like he didn't have a great lap 2. So not working out this time out. The first race, he was there or thereabouts. Not today. Finds himself at the back of the pack. He's 21 seconds off the lead at the moment. But PM10 still in the lead of this race, but the gap is down. The gap is down to 0.8 of a second. Stormfly got that G70 swinging, and he's just closing in now and looking to try and take the lead of this race. Kevin in the distance there has PJ Secker a lot closer to him than he is to the battle ahead, which is 3.4 seconds up the road from him at the moment. Can PJ Secker swallow up Kevin and make this a really interesting first stint? Aussie Rooster still not way out of it. Remember, he's running the medium tyres. He's 3.1 seconds back from that battle, but will stay on track when all 4 pull into the pits. Now, PM10 on lap 4. I think he's going to pit around lap 8 would be the sensible option. Maybe lap 7, depending on what he takes out of those tyres. Stormfly, he's going to have to pit this lap. Those tyres already shot on the G70, and we see him peel off into the pits for his first stop very early there. Kevin goes through, PJ Secker goes through, so Stormfly in the pits. That will see Aussie through as well, and Yellow Sausages possibly 11 seconds back. Hasn't got quite a lot of fuel on board, but it's not a long lap here. So there is Yellow Sausages through, there is Wiggy through, there is Old Man J through, and they're battling again up to turn 1. Old Man J hanging on the back of Wiggy, hoping for a little cock up with the Atenza. Where does Stormfly come out? He comes out at the very back of the pack behind Avalon. Now, Avalon's not the easiest person to overtake at the best of times, but he's on medium tyres. He's in the Alpha 155, and Stormfly is now on hard tyres. He's got a lot of work to do. 27 seconds, but he's going to run long in the middle stint and go race. I think he's going to go racy in the final stint of this race. But that does free up PM10. That puts him 7.6 seconds clear on lap 5 here at Lago Maggiore East. Kevin just started to ramp up the pace. 120.6 was his last lap. Which is still not quicker than anything PM10 has done so far. But it looks like Kevin is playing the longer game, just looking after those tyres a little bit better. Now that was really early to go, really early to go in. He had so much more left on his tyres. Very odd strategy there from Kevin, but maybe he's trying the undercut and seeing if that works for him. But to be honest, I'm not sure. He could have carried on with that pace, because I think PM10 would have got in before him. So all this is doing, this is giving PM10 lots of clear air in which to pull away. Now he must have seen that Kevin's gone in and be thinking, this might be a good time to go in myself. So he's made the call. Kevin's made the call, and he's made the call early. PM10 pace just dropping by about 6 tenths of a second from his fastest lap time. So he's just dropping off the pace now as those tyres start to wear down. So he will come in the pits now into lap 6. And I think Kevin would have taken the lead of the race had he stayed out. But he comes back out in 5th place, just behind Wiggy, ahead of Phil in the Jaguar. Aussie Rooster on the medium tyres will take the lead of this race when PM10 pulls in. Now he's running that non-Diablo on those medium tyres, looking after them quite well, but still getting some decent lap times out of them. Yellow Sausages moves up to 3rd place in the Mitsubishi Lancer. Good car, this Lancer. 3.8 clear at the moment of Wiggy, as PM10 does indeed pull into the pits. Sorry for that. So Wiggy in the Atenza, he's got to pit this lap, but he did. To be fair, he's got a few more laps out of them this time. I think lap 4 he went in last time, so he's got it to lap 6. But by hook or by crook, he's made it back. That was pretty damn lucky. So he's in behind PM10. So who's through? Kevin's actually got through on this pit stop. He didn't put any fuel on board, hardly any fuel at all on board. So interesting strategy from him. Aussie Rooster indeed does take the lead away. 7.4 seconds is the lead, or 7.2 seconds is the current lead over Yellow Sausages. He's got another 3, maybe 4 laps left in that car before he needs to start thinking about he can start thinking about it now, but before he actually jumps into the pits. Yellow Sausages will have to go a bit earlier. Lap 8 should be pit window time for him. But there is Kevin already up into 3rd. He has put the hammer down now. He's on the medium tyres now. He's kept the car nice and light. Now he's clearly doing that because he wants to be able to keep up a bit of pace and not have the car weighed down with too much fuel, weighing it down. Avalon was at one stage last in this race. Now finds himself up into 4th. Bit squirrely there from Kevin. He's pushing too hard. He's on the grass again. Avalon comes through. Kevin catches him. Stormfly's going to take both of them and move up to 3rd place. So Kevin, trying to get back on the track, catches Avalon, just unsettles him and allows Stormfly to get through into 3rd place. Now Stormfly and they both get promoted as Yellow Sausages pulls into the pits. So Aussie Rooster stays out in the Not Diablo. 15 seconds now he's clear. Stormfly up into 2nd after that little coming together between Avalon and Kevin. But there's nothing in that. Kevin lost control of the car and they've not come together as he's coming off the track. So not a lot really could have done about that. But that's what PM10 right into contention. 1.8 seconds behind Kevin. He's got fresher tyres and a lot more fuel. Kevin really has a lot of work to do now to open that gap back up. PJ Secker, there is in 6th place. No challenge from behind from Yellow Sausages on his 2nd stint. He's 5 seconds back from that battle, but that pace out front at the minute, that's too rich for his blood. I don't think anyone else on the racetrack at the minute has any say in what's going on in that top 5. Yellow Sausages 9 seconds back with Wiggy absolutely tucked in behind, using the Lancer to pull him along and give him that extra bit of straight line speed that he desperately needs out of that Mazda Atenza. So Aussie finally on lap 8, 11 minutes into this race, pulls into the pits. I think he's the last one actually to pit. Everyone else has been in now. He is indeed the last one to pit. Has taken that a really long way. 15 seconds clear he was. We'll see Stormfly going through on those racing hard tyres. Avalon also through. Actually, Avalon hasn't pit yet, has he? Or did he pit early? I can't remember. Oh no, he pit really early. He was on the soft tyres and pit really early after an accident which sent him to the back. So Avalon in second. Are tucked under the wing of Stormfly and looking pretty racy. Kevin, there he is. Really bad lap 7. Lost a lot of time there. Didn't disagree on lap 8 either. So the pressure from PM10, is that playing on his mind, or is he just toying with him? Is that what he's doing? Is Kevin having a little play around? He's like, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to give this too much serious thought. I'm going to just plod around and play with the boy, because we know that's what he does sometimes. But there he is in third. 1.3 seconds is the gap to PM10 Racing, who are absolutely on the money today, wants a win here. PJ Secker comfortably in 5th at the moment, because Aussie comes out in 6th place. 8.9 seconds back, again on those medium tyres. So he's going to go for a very short, very fast, soft tyre stint towards the end of this race. PJ Secker, as we know, is running obviously a 2-stop as well. There's Yellow Sausages, just out of the pits on the fresh medium tyres. Going to go as long as he possibly can. Will probably have some soft tyres toward the end of this race as well. Wiggy on the softs again. He just struggles with grip on any other tyre. So I would rather pit stop more and have relatively competitive lap times. 11 seconds ahead of Old Man J. This time round, that qualifying pace, he just couldn't transfer it. And it was 22.1, which is that's 8 tenths up from my quick lap. And that was with no cars on the track, to be fair. So you've got to be impressed with that. And I think he ran that on mediums as well, which is even more embarrassing for me. So yeah, really good lap in the AMG. Phil, though, just what can you say? When the car just isn't giving you what you want, you just have to accept that it's just bullshit, and hope for the best in every race. But Avalon up into the lead of this race. He's going to have to pit this lap. He's got himself ahead. He's been looking very racy. This is lap 10. 22 laps we had last time out. The pace at the moment suggests we might have 23. Kevin starting to ramp it up, closing up on Stormfly. Stormfly on those hard tyres. So in goes Avalon. Stormfly takes the lead of this race. Kevin through in second. PM10 in third. The gap now 1.7 seconds between PM10 and Kevin 77. In terms of tyres, looking very much the same. Kevin, though, a lot less fuel on board. He's going to have to pit again and pit early. Can PM10 drag it out, get some pace up the road and build a gap? That's the question. That will put PJ Secker up into 4th place, running much, much more consistently this race. In fact, check out that consistency. 21.4, 21.017 and 21.019. 0.2 of a second difference in those 2 laps, and a 21.340. That's very, very consistent running in this second stint for him. And that puts him 4.2 seconds off the back of the top 3. Aussie Rooster comes out. He's just had his first pit stop. He comes out in 5th place. He's had some very, very quick laps, all in the low 21.3s. 21.3, 21.4, 21.0s. So he will be trying to close up now on the back of that battle at the top 3 when PJ Secker finally goes into the pits in around lap 12 or 13. Sorry, 13 or 14. Yellow Sausage is 3.9 behind. Has got mid to low 21s in it. It's whether he can pull them out on these medium tyres. He is just opening up. He was under a bit of pressure from Wiggy, but he's opened that gap up a little bit just to give himself a bit of breathing room. And there is Avalon. That's where he's come back out. But he's going to run. He's going to run to the end of this race. He doesn't put that much fuel in his car unless he's planning on running to the end of this race. Now, he feels he can take those medium tyres from here to the end. And I'll tell you what, if he does that, he's going to be there or thereabouts, particularly on that kind of race pace. If he's knocking out mid-21s, mid to late 21s on medium tyres while looking after his fuel, I think those guys out front need to be a little bit afraid. He's certainly going to be somewhere around that top 5. So Stormfly just losing the lead of the race to Kevin. Kevin goes through. Stormfly dropping back now and tucking in behind, trying to get a bit of slipstream through that twicky twisty section. Twicky twisty section. losing the ability to speak, for that tricky, twisty section, which is flat out if you get the turns right. PM10 looking for a way around Stormfly. He desperately needs to make this overtake as quickly as possible. Stormfly very, very deep in that corner, loses out, and PJ Secker closes right up now. So PM10 is released to start that charge on the back of Kevin. The gap's 2 seconds at the moment. It has Kevin got an extra little gear to kind of open up that gap a bit. 2.1 is the gap at the moment. Stormfly in, PJ Secker into the pits. And I think PJ probably could have got another lap, maybe. So they're both in. They're going to now fuel and tire to the end of the race. TJ, you missed quite a lot, actually, to be fair. I don't know where you fucked off to, but you've missed quite a lot. At the moment, it's a three-way battle. I think Aussie's still in this battle for the win here as well. And despite Reese at the moment, I think Avalon as well. Avalon's running to the end. So Kevin in the lead of this race. He has got 2, 3, let's say lap 16. Lap 16 for me is going to be Kevin's pit window. Lap 15 to 16. PM10 can hang that out much, much longer. To the end of the race, maybe? Absolutely fucking not. Not on your Nelly is he taking that car to the end of this race. I will bet my hat on it. I don't own a hat, but if I had a hat, I'd be betting it on that. Absolutely not is he going to make it to the end of the race. So he will have to pit again, but he's going to be on soft tyres. And we saw how quick he was in his final stint on softs last time out. I think I'm losing my voice. Kevin in the lead, PM10 second, Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo, back up to third. Very, very long run in the first stint. Could possibly have a run to the end if he'd put more fuel on board. So he is going to do a relatively shorter stint this time on the mediums, and it looks to me that he's ramping up the pace for this middle stint, and then I think probably going to go on the softs to finish this race. So he's eyeing up a confirmed top 3. Yellow Sausages knocking down the door at that top 3, currently in 4th place, 7.2 seconds off the back of Aussie Rooster. He'll be pitting end of this lap, but if he's not at the end of this lap, certainly at the end of lap 15. And already Avalon Shadow, who's running to the end of this race, has got that alpha from the back of the pack to 5th place. 21 seconds almost behind Yellow Sausages. Now he will have to pit. Aussie Rooster in front of him also has to pit. PM10 has to pit. Kevin has to pit. All of them cars in front of him are going to have to pit. He's 40 seconds back. So could possibly find himself in the lead of this race and just have to worry about defending. Can he ramp it up now he knows these guys are going in? He must know they've got to go in again. Surely he's watching the strategy. So there goes Kevin in, PM10 through. Maybe PM10 should have followed him in there actually, and gone for I don't know, but more maybe he didn't need to. This is what he needs to do now. Is he needs to open that gap. Now we know that he's got. Where is that yellow flag? Who is stricken? Somebody somewhere is stricken. Didn't really fit PM10 though by the looks of things. So Aussie Rooster 10.8 seconds back. Now the gap for Kevin, we'll find out when he leaves the pits. Yellow Sausage is in the pits behind him. So Avalon Shadow, here he comes. He was on the grass that was that a bad lap from him. So he's coming through 4th place now. Didn't get ahead of Kevin. Kevin came out in front, 7 seconds in fact, out in front of him. But PM10 and Aussie still need to pit. Now the gap to PM10 is 31 seconds. And the key here for PM10 is he's got to get in the pits, he's got to get soft tyres on, and he's got to get out and minimise the gap that he loses while he's in there. PJ and TJ. Who's PJ? PJ10 Racing. Oh, PJ Secker. PJ Secker and TJ having a non-track battle. Well, it's going to happen soon. When you get your wheel, you'll be back on track in your Renault Megane. Unless you change your car, of course. So PM10 on Phil coming out of pits with a penalty. Is that going to hamper his charge? Certainly would do. Wrong corners just to be encountering a back marker. And Phil does move out of the way eventually. But that will have cost PM10 valuable track time. The gap is still 30 seconds, but he can't pull away. Avalon, 8.6 seconds back. He's 38 seconds off the lead of this race. Doesn't have to pit again. So this is the picture right now. First place, PM10, has to pit. Second place, 10 seconds back, Aussie Rooster will have to pit again. There's only 8 laps left of this race. Kevin77 will not pit. He will run to the end of this race. He's on the medium tyres and just started to ramp up the pace into the low 21s. Avalon Shadow, he's in 4th. He's running to the end of this race. He does not have to pit. He's got 8.7 seconds to make up for Kevin up the road, but pace not comparable. Stormfly, he won't pit again either, but he's gone for the hard tyres. Running in 5th, the gap to Avalon Shadow, 7.4 seconds. And at the moment, he's got PJ Secker and Wiggy for company. So he's got to look at defending for as long as he can, rather than attacking going forward. So there we go, PM10 in the pits. We'll see Aussie go through. Or will he? No, Aussie also pulls off into the pits. Does this promote Kevin back to the lead? And just how far ahead will he be? So he comes round that final turn, and it's agonising when you're coming round there and you know people are in the pits, but you don't know how long they're going to be in there for. So here he goes. He's going to cross that start-finish line, and he's going to take the lead of this race. Aussie stayed. I thought Aussie actually was going to go in, but he stayed out. I don't think that's going to benefit him in any way. So PM10, soft tyres, 1.2 seconds behind Kevin. He is on this. This is not over. Kevin on the medium tyres. He's going to have some work to do to stay ahead of a very, very racy PM10 Racing. Avalon Shadow could be looking at a surprise top 3 here. And I said that he'd be there or thereabouts. He's taken his car to the end of the race. He's got PJ Second 9 seconds behind him. And not really putting in comparable lap times at this stage of the race. And Aussie Rooster out of the lead at the moment. He might be 15 seconds clear, but he's got to pit. He's going to have to go in 4 soft tyres. He's going to make it around this final corner, just behind Jay in the AMG. So here he goes. He's going to pull off to this left-hand side into the pit lane. And soft tyre's going to go on for Aussie Rooster. So here we go. Kevin 15 seconds back. PM10 tucked right in behind that Porsche Cayman, looking for any reason, any way to slip past Kevin. Kevin's going to have to play a very, very strong defensive job for the next 5 laps of this race. Now, has he got something extra in the tank, despite being on the harder tyres? And there is Avalon through into that top 3. I knew as soon as he was showing he was doing a one-stopper with that pace, it was inevitable he was going to make that top 3. PJ Secker, is he able to make top 4? No, Aussie is out in 4th place. We will have a look in a minute, but here is a battle. PM10 still in that dirty air of the Cayman, looking for a way through. He's got the pace. He looks up the inside. Kevin trying to defend, just can't hold him off. At the moment, he's just on the outside of him. Look at that. They are side by side going through the turn. Kevin's still in the lead. PM10 edges ahead. This is the battle for first. PM10 does get himself ahead, but Kevin in behind. He has to give it up there. He just didn't have the traction out of the corner on the slightly harder tyre compound. But this is where the battle commences. Kevin will not let PM10 pull away if he's got anything to say about it. But PM10 on those soft tyres is going to have a slight advantage. A little bit more fuel on board. Yes, the car's going to be heavier, but he doesn't have to worry about any sort of fuel saving here. So he can go pedal to metal on the softs. Those softs will take him to the end of this race. He doesn't have to worry about that. Kevin's going to have to find something to change the fortunes of this race. So will it be another first place for Kevin, or will PM10 take his first win in the GR4 lottery? 3rd place, Avalon Shadow. Now the gap to Aussie. Avalon is on very, very old medium tyres. He's got enough fuel to make it to the end. That's not the concern. That's the concern. Well, I was going to say that. I expected to see Aussie on soft tyres to the end of this race. And very, very surprised he's opted for the mediums. If he's got soft tyres on now, he's chasing down Avalon and very much looking at a potential 3rd. On those medium tyres, I don't think he's got the pace. Certainly not with 3 laps remaining. Poor strategy choice there for Aussie for me. But maybe the car's just not set up to run soft tyres. Maybe the setup he's got, the soft tyres just do not work for him. But who knows? Who knows what the thought process was? Maybe he thought there were more laps in the race. Stormfly 4.7 behind. He's on hard tyres. I can't imagine he's going to get that G70 any higher up the field. He started out so well and kind of disappeared off up the road and was really looking to try and make something of that G70. But its tyre wear is awful, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you can't keep the tyres underneath you, you can't keep the car underneath you. PJ Secker also running hard tyres to the end of this race. Pace 23.9s. Stormfly doing 22.4, 22.7. So I don't think PJ's going to catch him. Is he going to be under some pressure though from yellow sausages? 6.9 seconds of that gap. He's running the mediums. I just think in terms of fuel, he might not be able to push just quite enough. I don't think there's enough laps left to catch him there. Wiggy's not catching yellow sausages. Old Man Jay's not catching him. Unless one of them crashes, of course. And Phil is there at the rear of the pack. Desperately looking forward to week 5 when he can bin this car. So there's a gap, 3.9 seconds. He really is pulling away now, PM10. Hasn't been able to match the fastest lap of the race. Not far off, a 1:19.9. He's lapped Phil. Kevin still needs to do that, but the gap is just getting wider and wider and wider. It's like a wizard sleeve, that gap now. So I think Kevin's going to have to resign himself to second place today. So there he is, 4.5 seconds back. Still needs to get around Phil. Avalon 12 seconds down the road. Aussie Rooster is closing. The gap is 2 seconds. Now we know that Avalon's on very old tyres, but we also know he's very good at defending. We're on lap 20. Now, I'll eat my words. I said Aussie should put the softs on. I still insist I think he should have put the softs on, because I think you put those softs on and he's already got that overtake done and making a gap. But it's whether he can get the traction out of the corner, because Avalon's not going to give him any room. He's not going to give him the space to get through. He's going to make Aussie make the overtake. He's going to have to work for that space. So the question is there enough on those medium tyres out of the corners for Aussie Rooster to make an overtake count on Avalon here? Is he? I thought he was going to make a mad dive up into that right-hander, but he does back out sensibly. Backs out, because that would have been an absolute disaster. But he is tucked in behind Avalon. We know you can't overtake here, so he's going to have to back off the speed, just sit in behind. Hopefully there's a mistake for him. But Avalon's not going to make another mistake this race. He's done so much hard work to get it to this point. He doesn't want to lose this podium. So Aussie's starting to close up to the back of Avalon into the final turn. This is lap 21. I think they might just cross the line to make lap 22. Or do they? Aussie pulling out, trying to make the move. He does make that move count, and we're on to lap 22. And Avalon just couldn't hold out. Well, I say that. And then he makes the dive into turn 1 and back ahead. So Avalon has said, no, thank you. If we're going to do 22 laps, you're going to have to race me to finish this. So Avalon in third. Aussie in behind. Yellow Sausages finishes on lap 22. So Wiggy will also finish on lap 22. Is everyone else through then? Did everyone else make this final lap? Certainly looks like it. PM10 miles ahead. This is the battle. Aussie ahead. Avalon Shadow ahead. What a battle this is for third place. Neither wants to give it up. We've got Avalon low on fuel, low on tyres in the beautiful 155. We've got Aussie Rooster, plenty of tyres, plenty of fuel in the Lamborghini Huracan, and both of them battling. Every bit of racetrack being covered, every apex being covered, trying to find a way through. Nothing for Aussie to do. If Avalon holds him off for third place, that has been an absolute phenomenal drive from Patrick. Just to hold him off. So they come into the final turn. Patrick covers off the apex, but Aussie's got the tyres. Aussie makes the move into the last turn, steals third place and the very last corner of race number 2 here at Lago Maggiore. What a move there from Aussie. And Avalon running out of fuel. Is he going to be under some pressure from Stormfly? Does Stormfly come through on Avalon? Does Avalon get across the line? Just across the line. almost loses out to an on-charging G70, and PJ Secker makes it through in 6th. What a finish that was! Absolutely phenomenal driving from Avalon to hold Aussie off for that long. Superb patience from Aussie to stick with the battle, just to try and find a way through, and then that overtake, absolutely brilliant overtake for the final corner to take a podium place. What a finish that was! Very, very impressive racing. Gotta say, that was something special. Gotta be impressed with that. This is proving to be such a good competition. So PM10 wins this race from Kevin 77, but all the action was actually for 3rd. Aussie Rooster steals 3rd place and up into the podium places. Avalon Shadow finishing in 4th that time out. But what a strategy from Avalon to get it to that point, has to be said. Really, really good strategy. So, room being reset, there is one more race to go. It is the same format, one-shot qualifying. Only difference is this time out, reverse grid. Well, what passes for a reverse grid in PD land, PD Sony land, I will call it. It's the land of crazy coding decisions. It will be slowest first from the grid, and the slowest first will be starting at the front with a rolling start. So, a lot of work for those quick drivers to do. It's all about clearing back markers and midfield runners as quickly as humanly possible to get yourself through that order. Just waiting for information on when it will start. Once I'm out on the racetrack, so I can show you them not driving around. So 35. So a couple of minutes for next quali. See you in a couple of minutes. We're back and are ready for the final race of this 3-race car meet. What else can we call it? So far, we've seen some amazing racing. Kevin and PM10 really dominating the racetrack today, and a win each for each of those, second place for each of those. Great move from Aussie in race number 2 to steal third place. He really worked on that car, really got that dialed in. I can guarantee you that is one car not being swapped after this stream is finished, or sorry, after next week's stream has finished. So the question is now, is who can luck out after making it through the order? So there we have Aussie Rooster, first one out. What time's he going to put on the board for us? What's he got? 1:21.4. Fastest lap there from Kevin, a 20.3. We've seen sub 120 laps. That's the thing about one-shot qualifying, is you get what you get. You know, you mess up a couple of corners, and that's your qualifying time. Now, I wonder if PJ Secker is aware of our dim view on sandbagging. No, he didn't sandbag. What a time from him! 120. Oh no, he didn't. He did a 120.3. Oh no, he did. He did beat him. 120.342. Looks. Why is that not coming out as quicker? It's showing 120.353 for Kevin, but with fastest lap. But PJ Secker put in a 120.342. So unless he picked up a penalty, I'm not quite sure why it's not showing him as pole. Very odd. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Yellow Sausages, there he is, with a 120.9. Aussie 121.6. Avalon with a 121.8 in the Alpha. Phil 122.9. Old Man Jay a 121.4. The irony is he's put in a really good lap there. Really good lap. When actually it's going to put him. It's going to put him further through the field. So remember, I think Phil is going to be out in front for the start of this race. How quickly can they, if they can at all, swallow him up? Stormfly VR46. Here he goes through with a 120.0. PM10. He does go sub 120 with a 119.9. He will start plumb last off the grid. So everyone putting the tyres on, ready for the race. And it's good to see that we're... anyone that wants the Brands Hatch, the turn 2 stopping stuff just became a bit of a, let's see how quickly we can smash up our cars incident. But it's everyone's a lot more subdued now, shall we say. So all ready to go. We are 30 minutes away from finding out what cars go into the pot for round number 5 respin. If anyone wants to do it. Now, I'll tell you who's not going to respin. PM10 won't respin. Don't know about PJ Secker. He only had the choice of WRX because he joined us late, so he may choose to try his luck with another car. So here we go. This is a rolling start. Phil at the front of the pack, so he will lead them away. Big different way to start this reverse grid scenario. But Stormfly didn't have a great lap there actually. He found himself a little bit higher up the order. How is that going to work out for him? So we're going to see these lights change. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're away. And Phil tries to get into that turn as quickly as possible. Let's quickly jump out if we can. With my fat, useless fingers. And Phil does go into turn 1 in the lead of this race. How long can he hold out the charging cars behind? Wiggy in the Atenza in second place. He's gone for the medium tyres this time out. Could be a good, clever strategy there. Old Man Jay in third. Tagging on the back of that Atenza. Looking for a way through. And there's Avalon in the Alpha in fourth place. He's got Aussie just behind him. And we know these two have already had a battle between them. He's not going to want to see that. Aussie making a big dive through up into third. Does he hold on to it? No, he doesn't. So Wiggy's still in second. Old Man Jay in third. No, he's not. Aussie is now in third. Making a move on Wiggy into second. He's got the inside line here. He has to back out. That's not a two-car succession of corners. So everyone filing in single file, looking for the move. Big move so far. Aussie Rooster third, Avalon Shadow fourth. Where is Stormfly? Stormfly, the very, very back of the pack. He's had a big spin, another big spin. He's way, way back. Old Man Jay moves right down the order. PM10 not being able to make his way through. He's on those soft tyres. That's going to cost him a lot. Kevin 2 places ahead. PM10 does make the move up into 8th place behind Kevin. But at the moment, Phil on lap 2, still ahead of 1.6 seconds clear at the moment. Aussie Roosters has made his way now into 2nd. Wiggy holding on, desperately holding on to 3rd place. He's got the Alpha crawling all over the back of him, trying to find a way around. Avalon does not want to see Aussie disappearing up the road. He wants to be closing down on him and making some sort of move. He is side by side with Wiggy in the Atenza. He makes the move and tucks in, gets that done. But PJ Secker also looking to make a move there on Wiggy. Side by side with him. Yellow Sausages up into 3rd. So Yellow Sausages capitalises on the battle going on and just slips his car up the inside to take 3rd place. Avalon Shadow looking to try and make a move there. He's tucked in behind. This is the view from his car. He's got the Lancer in front of him. Is there an opportunity with the slipstream here? He's got the medium tyres on. He's got some good pace out of that corner, but so does Yellow Sausages. They're down into the final turn. This is there. He dives. Good dive up the inside, but the door just gets shut on him. He has to back out of that move. Aussie Rooster now trying to make a move on Phil into the lead. Phil holds on for another lap. Great racing from Phil in that Jaguar to hold on to lap 3 in the lead. PJ Secker, that's his view. He's got Avalon, he's got Yellow Sausages, he's got Aussie ahead of him. No way through at the moment. Everyone just pointing the car in the right direction. Kevin up to 6th place with PM10 just behind him. Wiggy starting to fall down the order in that Atenza. Just not the car for him. And I think if he was undecided before this race what he's doing with that Atenza, I think his mind's been made up today. Just not getting the performance. But this is the man we want to look at. Where is he? Stormfly. He's 1.1 seconds back at the very back of the pack. But he is running those hard tyres. How far can he take those into this race? But the leader still, there he is, Phil, in the Jaguar. And he's not had a great race so far today. But at the moment, it's not looking too shabby, is it? He's got Yellow Sausages behind him. Yellow Sausages also running, no, he's not, he's running the soft tyres. So he's going a little bit racy. PJ Secker has made his way up past Avalon into 3rd. Podium place for him at the moment as Yellow Sausages tries to make a move on Phil. He goes up the inside, makes the move, makes it stick. Phil drops down to 2nd. PJ Secker now trying to close up and make that same move himself now. And we ride on board. Phil looking up the inside, he's not giving this up. Looking up the inside of Yellow Sausages, the move not on. Yellow Sausages just holds that line. He knows he's got the inside line into turn 2. Phil going a little bit deep, leaves the door open. PJ Secker says thank you very much. Dives through, but it's not got the move done. He's not made that move stick. So Phil holds on again for 2nd place. Doing a great job from the front of the grid to hold on there. Especially considering how his pace has been. But PJ Secker is not prepared to give it up. Having another look here into this right-hander. Yellow Sausages hits that late apex. Nice and early for PJ Secker. Makes the move, gets the traction, gets that move done. Moves up into 2nd place. So all change out front as we see Phil starting to move back towards the cars, the chasing cars behind. And that next chasing car is PM10. He has made his way up to 4th. Kevin back in 7th has had some sort of issue. The PM10 up into 3rd. Little touch from Phil. Does make it stick. Aussie also going through. Phil just getting absolutely swamped by all these on-rushing cars. So PM10 up into 3rd place. Aussie up into 4th. Avalon up into 5th. And there is Kevin also swallowed up Phil now up into 6th place. So Phil from 1st to 7th pretty much in one lap. Old Man Jay just behind him. Stormfly has now got off the back of the pack. Wiggy tucked in 10th place. But Old Man Jay on those soft tyres, he's going to have to pit very soon as Stormfly goes through. Who else is going to be next in the pits? Well, old man Jay certainly will be at the end of this lap. Avalon Shadow and Kevin battling this out. It's Porsche Cayman versus Alpha 155. And Phil is still involved there. He's not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. A little bit wide there from Avalon. Is he going to pick up a penalty? Was he a little bit too far off the track? Looks to have got away with that in 6th place. And Yellow Sausages takes the lead of this race now. And grabbing it by the horns with that Lancer. He is 6/10 ahead on those soft tyres. He's just got to manage them to the end of this lap. He will go into the pits. PJ Secker on the mediums will take the lead of this race. Stays out. Good performance from him. And his first racing day with us, guys. And I'll tell you what, he's settling in very well in terms of pace. Not being bullied at all. He makes the overtake before Yellow Sausages goes in. So good opportunity now to open up a bit of a gap. But the people chasing him. There is PM10 Racing, Aussie Rooster, Kevin 77. 3 very, very fast racers, all vying for a little piece of the new boy. So the new boy being hunted down by the crowd. There he is in the lead at the minute, 1.4 clear. PM10, half a second up from Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. He is half a second up from Kevin 77 in the Not the 911. Avalon Shadow in 8/10 back from that in the Not the 4C. Can we go through the order and get all of these? Stormfly in the Genesis, not the Hyundai one. And he's 3 seconds ahead of Phil in the Jaguar, not a very fast one. And he's ahead of Wiggy in the Mazda Atenza, the Not This Fucking Car again. Yellow Sausages comes out of pits in 9th place. Old man Jay's still in there. He comes out on the medium tyres. He's in the Not the WRX, but looks a little bit like one. And Old man Jay in the Not a Mercedes, it's an AMG. And off the track, big spin for Jay. He's already 19 seconds back. That's going to cost him a lot of time, as Silla would say. So PJ Secker in the lead, in the Not Nick's car anymore. 1 second up from PM10 Racing. He's going to peel off into the pits with those soft tyres. Aussie Rooster in second, stays ahead of Kevin at the moment. He's on the medium tyres. Kevin also running the medium, but he's really looked after those tyres. Hasn't put too much pressure through them. Avalon Shadow behind, also looking after his tyres. These two are going to be racing right to the end. So Kevin not pushing super hard. He's letting the guys out in front do all the pushing. He's saving his tyres for later. Stormfly up into 5th place now. Absolute nightmare start for him in the G70. But he's running those hard tyres, which he can take, we know, to somewhere around lap 11, maybe lap 12. Phil in 6th place on those medium tyres. In the Jag was led for a couple of laps there. But will have to come in the pits. He's got Wiggy behind, who has opted this time for the medium tyres. Another lap or so left. And the damage to the front tyres on this track is just absolutely disgusting, for want of a better expression. And the brake balance had no impact at all on arresting the wear on those tyres. So you have to ask the question, what's the fucking point of brake balance in this game, PD? Yellow Sausages was in the lead of this race, now back in 8th place. He's had his first pit stop. Pretty much everyone in front of him, other than everyone now, because PJ Secker's in the pits. Everyone in front of him has pits. PM10, 1.6 behind him in that McLaren. Lot of work to do. Aussie will come in. If he doesn't come in this lap, he'll certainly come in the next. But that gap is starting to close. Kevin is 3/10 back, tucked in behind the Not Diablo now, looking for any reason, any way to get the car through and start pulling out a lead. And the fastest lap of the race goes to Avalon Shadow with a 1:21.1 as Kevin looks up the inside, gets his elbows out, gets that Porsche up the inside and takes the lead of this race here on lap 8 at Lago Maggiore East. 2/10 up already, trying to pull a gap. We know Aussie's going to have to pit. We know Kevin can hang this car out. And is he going to try and one-stop this race on medium tyres? As Avalon through, big slide, spins his car, just overcooked it, making the overtake. Smoke pouring out the back of that car. Stormfly comes through into third. Just over pushed it there, Avalon, and caused himself some big losses. Trying to come back at Stormfly now. He made that overtake on Aussie, and just it wasn't really the right place to make that overtake, and lost the back end of that Alpha. It's not an easy thing to do, but he's managed it. So he is up into second place because Aussie goes in, Kevin goes in, Stormfly. How? Bearing in mind where he was, he's in the lead of this race. He will need to pit. Avalon Shadow sticking it out. He's going to stick it out too. He's going to one-stop this race again, and he's going to go for it. I've got to say, he's brave after losing it last time, but sticking to his strategy. It might pay off a bit better this time. He is 22 seconds ahead of Kevin 77. Kevin will have to pit again in this race. Where is PM10? PM10 still only up in 5th place. Really lost out with that earlier pit stop and not been able to get close enough to Kevin. I mean, he's a couple of 2.5 seconds back, but we know how quick PM10 can be on those soft tyres at the end of this race. There is anyone, for me, out of that top 6 at the moment. Well, I would say even top 8 because Aussie, top 6, including Aussie Rooster, could win this race with the way they're racing at the moment. So Stormfly, there he goes. He serves his penalty. He pulls over to the left-hand side. Actually, that is the best way to serve a penalty here, is to go to the pit straight afterwards. You lose the least amount of time on that penalty because most of your slowing down is done in the pit lane. So Avalon is in the lead of this race. He's going to hang this out for another 2 laps. I think he's going to take his 2 more laps to lap at the end of lap 11. Kevin 21 seconds back. 21 seconds. He's back. And Yellow Sausages in third on the medium tyres. Running very well and still in that shadow of Kevin, not letting that Porsche Cayman pull away. PM10 up into 4th. Still some work to do. 1.6 behind the Lancer of Yellow Sausages. So he needs to close that gap. He has got PJ Secker looking racy in the WRX behind him. This race 3 has ramped it up. It was quick in race 1. It was quicker in race 2. Race 3 is just carnage. It's an absolute speed fest. PJ Secker having a look. Can he get close enough? Not at this stage, but he's not letting the winner of race number 2 pull away by any stretch. And I've got to say, I'm definitely going to watch the stream this week from PM10's perspective. It must be awesome. It must be so difficult trying to talk his way through it while racing like that. Wiggy in the Atenza in 6th place. He has got the on-charging Not Diablo behind him, looking for a way through. And we know that Aussie's got some crazy pace today. He is like a demon in a demon car. And the name Diablo is quite appropriate for a demon. Is there a move here for Wiggy into this? He's certainly got he takes a much different line through there, but actually the wider line seems to be the better line. But Aussie does get ahead. They're side by side. Wiggy just he knows that Aussie's got that speed. He knows that that's not his race today. So Aussie through into 6th place. Stormfly back in 8th. He's 1.1 seconds off the back of the Atenza. Very similar looking cars, actually. If you look at the Atenza and look at the Genesis, they're not too far different in terms of body shape. There's Phil. He was in the lead. Held off very, very well. To hold those on-charging guys off behind him for that time was phenomenal. But did eventually get swallowed up by the speed and the guile of the midfield runners at the time. Finds himself back in 9th place. Old man Jay having an absolute nightmare race. Race number 1 was okay for him. Race number 2 wasn't even too bad. But this race number 10 been an absolute nightmare. As Avalon Shadow pulls in the pits for his first pit stop. He's definitely one stop in this race. He will be there or thereabouts. 19 seconds clear of Kevin 77, who will have to pit again. And PM10 Racing has made his way up behind Kevin 77 now. He is the fastest man on track with a 1:20.5. As we see Kevin goes to Avalon, dropping down the order as the cars come through. It's Kevin 77 in the lead in the Porsche Cayman. Half a second clear of PM10 Racing in the McLaren GR4 car there, 1.8 seconds clear now they are of Yellow Sausages, who is under pressure again from PJ Secker, half a second back and not letting Yellow Sausages pull away. Really showing his pace here in his first race with us. And I haven't really character assassinated him yet, but believe me, I will. At some stage you'll get it, everybody does. Making the move there, up the inside. Is he able to make it stick? We know the Yellow Sausage is very strong around the outside there. He's going to hold that for the time being. But PJ Secker gets that inside line and just stays ahead. And they go into the single file section. This is where you cannot make an overtake here. It just can't be done. You either get yourself a penalty, go on the grass, or crash. It's just too narrow, too tight. There's only one line through that section. You've got to tuck in and wait for your chance later. This is a good matchup anyway. In terms of cars, WRX and Lance are very similar cars. Very similar size, very similar kind of pace. Both very good cars, very good four-wheel drive cars. So Yellow Sausage is in fourth, 1 second back. He's going to have to pit at the end of this, which is lap 13. Really, the battle is not there to be won at the moment. Aussie Rooster in the Not Diablo. He's back in fifth, 5 seconds off the back of that. Has got some good power. We see a big spin almost from Stormfly. Certainly kicking up a lot of grass. That's not going to get him any closer up the road. Wiggy behind him in the Atenza. And Avalon Shadow out of the pits. Now we know Avalon's running to the end of this race. Last time he came out in 10th. He was in third until the very, very last corner. So we know that from 10th he can make his way into the top 3. He's only got to do it from 8th this time out. 8 seconds back from Wiggy, who will need to pit again. He is 2 seconds behind Stormfly, who he's got to pit. No, he's definitely got to pit again. Even Stormfly's got balls that big. Aussie Rooster, possibly. No, he's not looking to the end either. He's gonna run as long as he possibly can and then go on some softs and be racy, I think. Because we're on lap 13 of 22. Maybe even 23 laps. Yellow Sausage is currently in fourth. He's going to pit at the end of this lap. He's got some damage. Those tyres didn't hold out, so it's slowed him right up. So Aussie will whip through. So will Stormfly. So Aussie up into fourth. Stormfly up into fifth. Although both need to stop again. Out in front. There's a gap. It's 3.2 seconds. Kevin over PM10 Racing. PM10 Racing isn't having it all his own way this time out. He's going to have to pit a bit earlier. He had a bad lap on lap 13. And that has put PJ Secker right up behind him. So, is there a potential, not only podium for the new boy? I say that, although PM10, I'm sure the last person to get a podium on their debut race was actually PM10 Racing. I'm not counting Kevin or Stormfly, because they get a podium on every bloody race. But... now, I think the last person we saw get a podium on their debut race was PM10. And I'm sticking to that. And it's a shame I haven't got a statistician that can look it up. In fact, I'm going to go back through my notes, but I'm 99.9% sure that he was a debut podium sitter. I know he said he was at Darwin anyway. PJ Secker, though, is trying to make a move, but... to be honest, PM10's got some crazy pace out there today. They're both going to pit at the same time, are they? No. PJ goes in early. Lap 14. He's going to run the mediums to the end. Has he got the pace to keep this going? So 3.3 seconds is the gap for Kevin. He will not run to the end of this race. PM10 Racing will pit end of lap 16 I'm going for. And he's going to go on the soft tyres again and go for the big finish. Aussie Rooster, lap 16, lap 17. Will he opt for the soft tyres this time out, or do what he did before on the mediums? He did it on the mediums before. He regained third place. Can he do it this time? Stormfly, he will have to pit again. Again, is he going to go softs? Is he going to go mediums? Wiggy up into fifth at the moment. Will need to pit again. Avalon's already up to sixth place just behind him. So Avalon will breeze through. Or will he get the move done before Wiggy pits? Because he's closing that gap and he's closing it fast. That's where PJ Secker's come out. 20 seconds behind that battle on those mediums. Avalon will not have to pit again. He's going to have to pass Avalon on the racetrack if he wants to take that position. Everyone else is up for grabs, though. Everyone else will have to stop. So this could be a very interesting race. Where does everyone come out? This time, Avalon's only 23 seconds behind the leader. Last time out, when he was in this position, it was 39 seconds. This is a big, big difference for Avalon. And despite that spin, he's looking very, very quick. And there he goes. He goes through. He takes 5th place. The gap to Stormfly, 10.3 seconds. Wiggy going to pull off to the left-hand side here into the pits. Yes, he does. So PJ Secker will come through. He's 20 seconds back from that, though. Got a lot of work to do to get himself into the podium places. Yellow Sausages was early out of the blocks and dominating quite early on in this race, but now finds himself back in 8th place. He's running to the end, though. So there are pitters in front of him. Still an opportunity to get himself into the top half of that field. Phil and Jay at the back of the pack. Phil 43 seconds off, run to the end. Jay's closed that gap up on those hard tyres, but he's going to have to pit again, so that gap will open up to somewhere around 30 odd seconds. So 5.5 now. Kevin is ahead, opening up that gap from PM10. He's having none of the shenanigans of the last race. He saw what happened last time and said, you know what, I'm not having any of that shit. I'm disappearing. So the gap is 6 seconds. PM10 Racing coming in the pits at the end of this lap. If he can get a car home, he had a bad lap 13. He didn't have a really, really quick lap 15. But here he goes. He pulls in, end of lap 16. Soft tyres are going to go on that car. He is going to absolutely melt it for the next 6 laps. So Aussie also in. Stormfly also in. Avalon Shadow, where is he? Is he going to come and take 2nd place? Well, he's through. He's through into 2nd. Everyone else in the pits. Now it's a question of managing that tyre. That one tyre. Just managing one tyre. You don't have to worry about the rest of them. Just manage that one tyre through to the end of this race. 23 seconds is currently the gap to Kevin. Now, we know Kevin's got to pit again. Or does he? I don't know if he can take that fuel to the end. I'm not entirely confident he can take that fuel to the end. And look at what Avalon's got on board. And Avalon's the king of the fuel savers. And look what PM10's put on board to go racing. And look at what Phil J. Secker. He's Phil, isn't it? I hope so. And look at what Aussie's got on. I think Kevin's going to have to splash and dash. In fact, I'll stake. I will dance in my pants on the next stream for the camera if he doesn't have to put something on board. I can't see how he's going to make it. There we go. Thank God for that. I thought I was going to have to wear my pants then. There we go. So Kevin is in the pits. The gap's 23 seconds. Where is Avalon? Does Avalon now take the lead of this race from way, way back? One stop this race and has found some really good pace, and it's worked out very well for him. So here he comes. He comes down the start-finish straight. Kevin's still putting some fuel on board. There goes Avalon into the lead. Now he's got some tyres on board. How big a gap can he build? Well, not very big, because out comes Kevin. 1.3 seconds behind. PM10, 41 seconds back. Big crash from PM10. He's put intermediate tyres on his car. What a plonker. How did he manage that? He's clicked the wrong button. He's put intermediate tyres on and absolutely fucked his race. Unlucky for you, Paul. How did you manage that, my friend? So, from hero to zero in one pit stop. He's going to put the soft tyres on now, but that's going to mean nothing. Absolutely out of this race. What a cock-up that was. So, Avalon Shadow in the lead. 1 second is the gap. He's being hunted down on racing soft tyres by Kevin 77, the alien from Greece. PJ Secker back up into the podium places. 17 seconds back. He's not going to close up on them two. He has got to look out behind because there's an on-rushing Stormfly in the Jägermeister Genesis. And there is an on-rushing Aussie in the Not Diablo. There is Yellow Sausages. Don't know if he's going to have enough in those tyres to push as much as he'd like towards that top 3. Wiggy in the Atenza, 12 seconds ahead of PM Intermediate Racing tyres. In 8th place. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, man. Sorry, it's a little bit harsh. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul, but it's an easily done cock up. But the thing is, when this stuff's live streamed, you have to accept that when you cock up like that, the whole world's going to know. There we go. Sorry, buddy. I'll make it up to you. I genuinely thought you were going to win this, Paul, to be fair. Right, but Kevin 77, there he is in the lead. He has taken that first place from Avalon. Half a second will be the gap when he goes round this corner, I would have thought. Or maybe not. Maybe Avalon's not giving it up quite so easily. But Kevin's on those softs, will be very hard to keep up. Avalon's sole focus now will be holding on to that second place. PJ is behind him. 18 seconds is the gap. Too much work to catch him, I think. The pace will have to be insane. So I think the one person really holding on here is going to be PJ, because Stormfly's closed that gap to 1.1 seconds. Aussie Rooster's closed the gap to Stormfly to 2.2 seconds. And I think I called it right, definitely this time. Those soft tyres, Aussie, would have made the difference here, because you'd be on Stormfly like a rat in a drain pipe if you had those soft tyres on. Yellow Sausage is 5.9 seconds back. Don't think he's got enough to get on the back of that battle. In terms of pace he has, but in terms of tyres, not enough. Wiggy stays ahead of PM10, who now has some proper tyres on his car, but absolutely ballsed his race up by inexplicably picking intermediates. And it must have been he was rushing through the clicks, and just went one click past the softs. Easy enough done, but lots and lots of fun to laugh at. Race leader, very dominant today, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 seconds clear now on lap 20 of 22. Avalon Shadow, been trying with this one-stop strategy, has finally got it to, he thought he got it to pay off in race number 2, only to lose out on this turn, but on the last lap on that turn. This time, it's worked out for him. This time, when he came out of the pits, he came out in 8th and not 10th. And it made the difference. 17 seconds is the gap to PJ Secker. No, it's not. It's the gap to Stormfly. Or is it? Now it's the gap to PJ Secker. These two battling it out. And meanwhile, there is Aussie. Is he going to prove me wrong yet again by doing what I said he should do on softs, on the medium tyres? This battle rages on. PJ Secker at the moment stays ahead of Stormfly, but there is Aussie Rooster watching that battle play out. He would desperately love these two to have a coming together and disappear off different sides of the racetrack, while he goes straight away through the middle and takes yet another podium for that beautiful Lamborghini, not Diablo. So there is the battle for third. PJ Secker from Stormfly, from Aussie Rooster. Anyone's race at this stage, but Aussie looking to be in the best position of the three, to be honest, because while PJ is doing nothing but defend and Stormfly doing nothing but attack, he can just concentrate on closing the gap. And they go through here single file. PJ still in third, Stormfly still in fourth, but the gap now is under half a second, and Aussie with a great exit and very, very tight in the back. Can he make a move on both cars here? What an overtake that would be if he makes that into the final corner. And he has to back off, just catching the back of Stormfly. Gets a much better exit. On the brakes, little love tap on the back of PJ Secker. And he puts him into the wall, just under braking. And he is waiting for him to come back past. Where's PJ? Is PJ going to make that move? He can see that Aussie's waiting for him. Yellow Sausage is not close, but Stormfly can't go another lap. So he finishes in third. Aussie will give up fourth place, I think, to PJ here. He does give up fourth place. Aussie through in fifth and almost loses that to Yellow Sausages. That was brave. So Stormfly nicks third just by virtue of that little love tap, which cost PJ second and third. To be fair, I think Stormfly probably would have got through. In fact, I think Aussie might have got through there. So Kevin 77 is going to win this, the final of the three races. 11.4 seconds in the end is the gap. Avalon knows he can't be caught. He can just coast this home. and finish in second. But there is your race winner, the current championship leader, the man of the hour, Mr. Porsche Cayman himself, Kevin 77, to cross the line and win race number 3 at Lago Maggiore East today. And Avalon Shadow on fumes as always when he crosses the line. And here's a big finish. Is he going to do it? He does do the crazy spin, or tries to anyway, and he's through in second place. A great finish. Kevin from Avalon and Stormfly finally gets a G70 onto a podium. Fantastic racing from everybody there. So there we go. 2 wins for Kevin. A win for PM10. PM10 with a second place, a first place, and a lovely set of intermediate tyres in the dry. What can we say about that? There we go. So that is those 3 races. That's GR4 Lottery Week 4 finished. And I've got to say, I fucking love this. I love this race tournament. Probably more than the. I mean, I'm sure I've probably said this on Saturday, but I think this is better than Saturdays. This is the best thing we've ever done. It's such good fun. But that's the end of the race. It's all over. It's done and dusted. We move on. What do we move on to? I hear you cry. Well, we move on to something a little bit different. So we know that there was a lottery for the cars. We know those cars got allocated, and some people aren't necessarily too happy with the choices that they got. So here is a list of what is coming up in terms of new cars. There they are. So they are the 15 new cars going on to the spinny wheel. It is the phenomenal GR Supra, the not 155 Alpha 4C, the Honda NSX, good car if you can do something with that uncontrollable throttle. The Lexus RCF, another good car there. The RCZ bag of dog shit. The absolute worst car in the game for this class anyway. The Suzuki Swift. The Aston Martin is there on the list. The Citroen GT, also a good car. The other Genesis, the Hyundai Genesis. Can you imagine if Stormfly bins his Genesis G70 and gets a Hyundai Genesis? He might cry. I think I would. We've also got there the Bugatti Veyron, the Toyota 86, another good car there. The Volkswagen Scirocco, the Dodge Viper, the very good Silvia, and finally the Audi TT Cup. So they, I don't choose them. I'm going to spin the wheel, Aaron, and you get what you get. You could end up with the other Genesis, you know. So they're the 15 cars. Imagine, that would be mental, wouldn't it? They're the 15 cars that are going on the wheel. There's some really good cars in there. The Supra, the Silvia, particularly good. The NSX, not bad either. RCF's a good car. Aston Martin, maybe. Dodge Viper. Not sure about the rest of them, though. So, we know that Phil definitely wants a new car. We know that Stormfly definitely wants a new car. They've got to race one more week in the cars they've got, and then I will spin the wheel this time next week when people start binning their cars. But that's it. All done and dusted here at Lago Maggiore. 3 fantastic races. Kevin absolutely smashed it out of today. PM10 absolutely smashing it too. Although can't tell the difference in what tyres to put on. And you do know I'm going to dig you out for that for at least a couple of weeks. So you may as well suck it up now. But that's it. All done and dusted. I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing with the GR4 Lottery. It's been very emotional. I will see you on Wednesday for the GR3. And actually, I will see you briefly tomorrow for... No. It was supposed to be next week. This is only round 4. The draw is after race 5. I was only announcing the cars today. Nice try, though. So anyway, I was about to finish up, and then Stormfly suddenly realised he wasn't getting his car today. But there we go. So that's all over and done and dusted. It's been emotional. I will see you tomorrow very briefly to put up a very special race on Sunday. I will see you permanently, well, not permanently Wednesday, but you'll see you Wednesday evening, this sort of time for GR3. So until then, stay safe, stay lucky, and don't be a dick.